While the World Bank report, as we mentioned, has reflected significant improvement on the ease of doing business front for India, clearly India has a long way to go. But it's not just startups. Other businesses are also finding the going tough when it comes to starting a business. However, some states are doing better than others. This is why.
It took more than 7 days for K.E. Raghunathan, a Chennai-based businessman, just to get the name of his company approved. Getting the company registered was a smooth process. But his real struggle began when he approached local authorities for registration of land and getting electricity connections.
Though online in many states, but still there is a lot of corruption involved. The speed depends upon what you pay.
Tamil Nadu is ranked 13 in the ease of doing business list. But the story in nearby Telangana, which tops the list, is entirely different. Here, 62-year-old Ganapati Ramachandran, chairman of Trigen Technologies Limited, that has 18 offices across the world with a turnover of $100 million, got his work done rather easily and quickly.
When we sought an appointment with the IT Secretary of Telangana, and who invited us and received us very warmly and had all the time for our questions and all the time to go through our presentations.
After India's big leap in the global rankings, the focus has now shifted to the states. The number of reforms that states will now have to implement have been raised from 340 in 2015 to 405 in 2017. States will be assessed on 12 broad indicators, from labour regulations to single window clearance, environmental regulations and permits, among many others.
If you want states to perform, have clearly defined outcomes, have ranked them, and put the pressure on a minute-to-minute basis on this portal where they will see whether they have moved up or come down.
Though several of the states have made online approvals available, several businessmen in the construction sector say that construction and environmental approvals still take more than a year instead of the 90 days official timeline. With Uma Sudhir in Hyderabad, this is Oinitam Oja in New Delhi for NDTV.
The focus is also now shifting to other states within the country and the government's own targets for these particular states and how they rank on ease of doing business. And some of those rankings are in front of us. For instance, did you know that Telangana is the most business-friendly state in the country today, followed by Haryana, West Bengal, Odisha, and then Maharashtra? Well, joining us on the program tonight to take a look at this in more detail is the CEO of the Niti Aayog, Mr. Amitabh Kant. Mr. Kant, thanks so much for joining us. Let me first ask you on this particular report, which actually does come under the Ministry of Commerce on the business reforms that various states have done. How is it that, states like Telangana and Haryana, for example, have actually bettered other states in this country? What are they doing right as opposed to those that are at the bottom of the list?
Well, first of all, this was started about 2 years back, and the first year we did it, which was based on 98 outcomes, very clearly defined outcomes on which it was based. And Gujarat did extremely well. It was #1. The second year, Gujarat, Telangana and Andhra were the top performers actually. Telangana and Andhra came 1 and 2, and they were joint 1, and Gujarat came at #2. But the good thing in the overall ranking, and talking about overall ranking, was that the minerals-rich states of Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh did extremely well. They brought in a lot of changes, radical changes, and they were very high on the top. And in fact, the first year, Jharkhand had come at 4th position. I think the critical thing what states are now doing is to look at the entire life cycle of business. It's not just about starting business, but look at the entire life cycle. And they're cutting out a lot of rules, regulations, procedures, and acts. All of them are being knocked out, and everything is getting digitized, and everything is being put online. And human intervention is being cut away so that you allow individuals to apply digitally and get all approvals digitally. As long as you can cut human interface away, this is the big thing. And secondly, over the years, over the last 70 years, India has specialized at the art of making rules, regulations, procedures, acts. We've added them day after day after day, a whole lot of voluminous ones. And states which are dismantling them in large bulk, they are the ones who are moving forward. And thirdly, states which are taking very progressive measures to amend rules and regulations so that things become far more easier. So we look at the entire life cycle and learning actually from the experience of ease of doing business, how competitive federalism has really spurred states into action.
That's
when
actually interesting.
Niti Aayog has started the same process.
Yeah, because what you're saying about this competitive federalism,
Yeah.
last year
So
Telangana was ranked at number 13, now it's number 1. Uttarakhand was 23rd, Haryana was 14th, now it's number 2. What's also interesting is that more states are implementing reforms this year, almost 50% of them, much higher than last year's average. So that's quite encouraging. I suppose that states are interested, they're doing this, and obviously at a greater speed.
So Nidhi, two things. One is that ranking and naming and shaming states and putting it in public domain. So the minute you put it in public domain, it has implication. I mean, political leaders, elected governments, bureaucrats, all become responsible to the citizens of India. And therefore, because the ranking is put in public domain, and the final analysis of this ranking is done by an external agency, the World Bank, and therefore everybody is aware as to why a state has not performed. And I was quite surprised when, we also have a portal which actually on a minute-to-minute basis decides whether state is going up or state is coming down. So, it's such a competitive process that learning from this, since competitive federalism is in such great flow right now, learning from this, in Niti Aayog we've introduced a similar process of ranking for states in education, in health, and in water management. And you will see a huge improvement among states, because we will be ranking states shortly in about a month and a half on states on education. We'll be ranking them on water, and we'll be ranking them on education. And therefore, my view is that if you want states to perform, have clearly defined outcomes, have ranked them, and put the pressure on a minute-to-minute basis on this portal, where they will see whether they have moved up or come down. And every state, because distance to frontier is important, and those who are moving faster, quicker, others will have to catch up with them.
Well, that was the CEO of the Niti Aayog, Mr. Amitabh Kant, speaking to me earlier today. That's it on the show tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.